We're talking about the tragic murder of a young man in a Lambeth youth club last week. You may have read the press about the tragic murder on a Thursday of last week of a 23-year-old man who was stabbed to death in the Aparat Ltd youth club over in Lambeth. He was murdered inside a youth club in front of the young people there from all ages. Absolutely tragic, with young people in the youth club at the time. Profound implications. What's next? A teenager or a child being murdered in a playground. It's a very popular youth club. Thursdays and Friday nights, they've got more young people than they can handle, to be frank. Of course, you know what? I remember when we used to report these murders, and you'd get a report on day one, and then you'd get follow-up reports on the murder investigation, articles in the press, day two of the investigation, day three. Now you just get the day one, kid's been murdered and police are investigating, and they move on from the issue. Why I want to speak about this is because it's Lambeth, and unfortunately we have one of the highest serious violent crime rates in the United Kingdom. And I wanted to point to what can be done about the outbreak of violence in our communities. We're doing some great work from a community-led perspective in developing a public health early intervention approach. And we really have to take this very seriously, and I'm glad to report in Lambeth that's exactly what's happening. That is all about empowering local communities to take the lead in development of a public health approach to challenge this awful culture of violence that is costing so many lives in our community. The council have adopted a 10-year strategy to introduce public health policies to tackle violence, and they want them to be community-led. I'm proud to be working with others in the Lambeth Community Safety Alliance, a new body that has been developed in recent weeks, intends to pursue the development of community-led public health strategies that begin to tackle the root causes of violence. And we're getting new projects in line, and we're working with the council, who's adopted a 10-year public health violence reduction strategy. Every time I hear the discussion about violence in the black community, I never hear anybody talking about the reported 55% on average black youth unemployment in our community. I never hear about people talking about our community desperately immersed in a poverty that has been greatly and disadvantaged, that has been greatly amplified by austerity. I never hear people talking about the economic context of a black community, largely unemployed, largely living in poverty, and coterminous with the the most profitable open drug markets in the United Kingdom. So it's vastly important that we adopt public health approaches to be able to hopefully begin to address using community assets, the scourge of violence that is making our lives a misery. Getting into our community for early intervention and prevention, and having the communities themselves lead on this issue is part of that solution. Look up Lambeth Community Safety Alliance. We're doing some good stuff, and hopefully some of you all out there will join us.